Hey, well, it's Huck here, and I am sorry that I have taken so long to post this video. It is now Saturday, a little bit after noon here, I guess, and uh, I don't know if you can tell on your end, but I am making this video on a new device. One of the reasons why I haven't been able to actually make a video here in recent days is because my smartphone, which I have been making all my videos with for some time now, basically was not cooperating with me any longer. It is I don't know, 5 years old, a little over that, I guess. I ended up getting that smartphone. It was a Samsung S Mini, 3 something, I don't know, 3 Mini S, whatever the heck. They got so many crazy ways to describe these phones and models. Anyway, it's a very small phone for a smartphone. I had a choice when I gave up my landline, and I had always used a one of those flip phones, basically, and I think I had been with AT&T at the time, and at any rate, I decided to get rid of my landline because it was just another bill that I couldn't afford, and was trying to cut back, and so I had this flip phone that I was paying about, I don't know, $45 a month, and my home phone I was paying probably, I don't know, just under $40 a month, I think, normally, and so anyway, they talked me in when I called to cancel the landline. They talked me into signing up with a smartphone, and that they would send me one. I had my choice at the time. I think it was an iPhone 4, I think, or it was the Samsung. And I chose to go with the Samsung because I thought it was a smaller phone. It'd be maybe a little easier for me to, carry around with me. And I had never used really, to any extent, any Apple products. I never owned any Apple products. I could never afford Apple products. So I thought, all my computers are PCs. Let's go with the Android phone. So of the two choices I had the, at any rate, the phone was free. And I have used it since, well, like I said, this was shortly after my mom died. So she passed away in August of 2013. So I have been using that Samsung now for a little over 5 years, and it long ago stopped being compatible with a lot of what do they call them, apps. So for instance, I couldn't download certain apps because I would get a message saying, your phone is not compatible with this. But even more problematical was the fact that it stopped functioning within some of the, so for instance, like it would no longer play videos without pixelating, which made it a really big problem when I would try to play back some of my, videos that I was making with that phone. At any rate, so it would record a video and it would allow me to upload a video, but I couldn't watch the video on that phone, see what I had actually done, and which meant that I couldn't actually see the video until I actually uploaded it and went on my computer and downloaded it or looked it up on YouTube to see what it actually looked like. Which is, at any rate, it even had some other functions that was making videos a problem. So I have been saying now for some time that I needed to get a phone, and it's just another one of those. I've been getting a lot of help, and I still just to thank my lucky stars, and and I thank the people that have been so unbelievably generous to me to help me out, because as I've said before, I don't know what I would do. I've got all these medical bills now. I'm still trying to, there's a number of things that I'm trying to accomplish with this help. But without the help, I not only wouldn't I be able to do any of those things, I really don't know where I'd be. I mean, I've discussed all that before, and but the truth is, when I get this help, I always apply it to something, in the way of bills, and I very rarely spend much on myself, and to me, a new phone was just a luxury, and it still is. So, I have a friend, Dustin, who comes over here, it's really about the only friend I have that does come over here regularly. And Dustin's father works for AT&T, although he works, out on the outdoor things that they do. But he has a very good plan with AT&T, and so he recently updated his phone. And he had his son, Dustin, I think he's got, I don't know how many people on his plan, in the family. And so him and his son just updated their phones. And so his father had this iPhone 6 that he had been using. Now, I've never used an Apple phone. And he was willing to sell it to me for $100, which was actually cheaper than any of the smartphones I went and looked at. I didn't want to change my plan because I'm on an older plan that only cost me about $50 a month. About $52 a month with tax. And so I've been reluctant to change it. It works for me. It only gives me 300 megabits of data a month, but unlimited calls, and I don't text, but unlimited text. And because, data-wise, I just use Wi-Fi, either at home or wherever I go, I very rarely use much data. And I've never gone over the 300 megabits. And I guess it does have rollover, so since I don't use much, whatever I do have left over rolls over to the next month. So I've never run into a problem with it. In 5 years, I've never run over. So, like I say, it's a plan that works for me. And I know right now, there are some other companies that probably could get me around the same price range. But for AT&T, this old plan I've got, whatever it's called, is really the only affordable option for me if I'm going to stay with them. Because if I took advantage of any of their new, in other words, they'll give you a phone at an unbelievably good bargain price, if not free, if you'll sign up for another contract. Well, I'm well out of any contract. I can leave at any time. But I wanted to just buy a phone, if I could, or find an unlocked phone or whatever. And I've been looking around here and there. But again, I don't want to spend the money. So Dustin's dad and Dustin have been urging me, I guess, to take advantage of this offer because it is a good deal. I'm trying to get used to this. I've spent the last couple of days now trying to switch over everything, put all my contacts in this phone and set up the apps that I typically use, like I'm on Twitter with HuckFin22. I have a Facebook page under my real name and some other things, that I subscribe to some news, channels, and of course YouTube, and setting up my email, which I'm still having some problems with. But at any rate, the good news is that because I'm a little short money right at the moment, am I not? Dustin's father is in no hurry for the $100. He knows that I'll pay him when I can. He's done a number of things for me in the past, and I've always, been able to repay him at some point in time. And at any rate, so like I said, I'm now officially a member of the Apple. I get my official Apple membership now, I guess, because I'm using an iPhone 6. It's a bigger phone than my old one for sure, and it has some kind of neat features I'm not used to yet. And so I'm kind of looking forward to experimenting with this a little bit. But anyway, I still don't know exactly how to, when I get done with this phone, I guess this phone actually has an editing function after you get done with the video. So I'm going to check that out a little bit. But at that point, then I understand then there's got to be a way at that point to share this video on YouTube. And so hopefully I'll be able to figure that out and upload this baby. There's a couple of things about iPhones, though, that I have always been kind of reluctant to consider. I mean, I really, if I could have afforded it, I probably would have gone with, another Samsung phone, even a much older model. But I went around, I even went to Best Buy just to inquire, what would be involved. If, for one thing, I didn't know what would happen. Like, I knew I would need a new SIM card and to switch my account over. And I didn't know whether they would do that or not, or whether I could keep my old plan, if I switched over to another phone. And, so all of that I needed to find out. And Best Buy was able to help me explain that, yeah, if you can get an unlocked phone or buy your own phone or whatever, then, just come to us or go to an AT&T store and they'll be happy to set you up with a new SIM card. That would be free. You're keeping your old plan and, they will do that. So as it was, I did go to the AT&T store and do that. But there were some things about the iPhone that I didn't like. And that is, like, for instance, on my old phone, it only had my old phone, I think, only had 8 gigabytes of storage. But it would accept a micro SD card, which I guess can, I forget, I had a micro SD card that, excuse me, I think was another 8 gigs. But you can get micro SD cards that are much bigger than that. Or, many more gigs. I don't know, 32 gigs or whatever. And so, like I said, that was nice because there was a time when I'd finally, I had used up the 8 gigs basically, and I wasn't able to do almost anything with my phone until I started using the card. Apple phones, iPhones don't have any additional. As I understand it, Apple doesn't play well with others, and so they're not going to make phones that accept SD cards because they don't make SD cards, and if they don't make it, they're not going to let you use it on their phone. At any rate, I guess it has something to do with how they've been changing their iPhone jacks lately, so that you can't just use any. I don't know. These are things I'm told. At any rate, I guess for 99 cents a month, you can, I don't know, get like practically unlimited storage on the cloud. I'm nowhere near needing anything like that at this point, so I'm not going to worry about any of that until I run into a problem. I'm not even sure what the storage capacity is on an iPhone 6. I don't know if it's 16 gigs or 32 gigs, maybe. I don't know. I should find that out. It's probably on here somewhere. At any rate, if you've got any tips or advice, those of you out there that are using iPhones, feel free to, drop a comment and tell me to, explain what I should be checking out. The other thing I really wanted to touch on today, it's almost Christmas, and I don't have a heck of a lot of people I have to buy presents for anymore. Me and my brother, is the only family I have left, really, is my brother and his family. My brother and his wife and their daughter. And we've kind of been, had a kind of an agreement, I guess, really after my mom passed away 5 years ago. I suddenly went from, my meager income working at a Best Western hotel as a night auditor, along with my mom and her Social Security to pay all the bills, to suddenly, just my income alone. And then within short order, wasn't too long after that I was having great difficulty getting to work, and I eventually had to go on disability, and for a period of months I wasn't getting any income at all. Because I ended up taking my disability, I guess, younger than I would have liked. And the last few years I worked, I was actually making less money than I'd ever made before, rather than, more money like you hope to do in your later years before they calculate your Social Security. At any rate, so when they averaged things out, my Social Security amount didn't amount to too much either. Anyway, so we've had this agreement, my brother and I, we're just not going to buy gifts for each other anymore. And, I go over there for Christmas and enjoy the dinner, but we just don't exchange the gifts anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I always feel guilty about that. It's not that I understand why that is, but I still feel like it's the only family I have. So this year, I feel bad about this too. But this year I did buy gifts. I called them and I told them, I told his wife, my sister-in-law, Darlene, I told her that, look, I don't want you to feel obligated to buy me anything. But the truth is, you guys do me a lot of favors. And every time I've been sick and had to go to the hospital, you take care of my dog. When I have gone on trips, now I haven't gone on a trip now for more than a year. But when I have gone on trips, or like I say, when I have been sick and in the hospital, which has certainly happened enough times, they're the ones that take care of my dog, and they've never asked for nothing. And so as I explained to her, this is kind of my way of saying thank you for the things you've already done. So don't feel like you got to do anything more. At any rate, on the other hand, I kind of felt like, I really can't afford to do this. I'm spending other people's money basically anytime I buy a gift for myself or anyone else. And, like I say, I've been getting help, but without that help, I quite literally wouldn't be able to feed myself. I would have to make a decision between, well, as they say, do I get my medicine or do I buy food? I'd have about $100 to make all of those kind of decisions with after I paid my bills. So, and I'm not even sure I would have that much now. Certain things have been going up a little bit, just a few dollars. But my utility bills, which is like my electric and my sewage, my water, which all comes as one like city bill, has been higher. In some cases, much higher. My internet just went up this month. Not much, a couple dollars. At any rate. So, I don't know. Still calculating it. I still get $15 a month food stamps. They want to know what my income is, and I told them, and, they just want your Social Security and your, anything else that you get, and I gave them the figure, and, I don't know, they calculated it to be $15 a month on food stamps is what I'm, now they've sent me a renewal thing in the mail, and I've just not returned it. And, in a way it's because, like, I feel like I'm taking money. I'm getting help. And, I don't really want to report that. So I just don't feel like I should take the $15 and help either. So I just didn't fill out the updated form. So I'm guessing after the first of the year here, I'll probably be cut off. I haven't even checked to see if the $15 is is on that food stamp card this month. I haven't checked it. It's near the end of the month. That's usually when I use it, is at the end of the month, because money is tight usually a week or two before payday. At any rate, so I bought my brother and his wife and daughter each a gift, and I spent a little bit of money doing that. And of course, I put it on my PayPal account because I didn't want to take the risk of using the money that I actually had in the bank, because that money just covers, the couple of bills that I know are going to come in before payday, and couldn't risk not being able to pay those bills. So I put it on the PayPal account for now, and hopefully things will work out. And the good thing about PayPal is that, it's basically interest-free as long as you can pay it back within, a certain period of time. So, anyway, and of course I got my friend Dustin a gift, because without Dustin's help around here, I don't know what I would do. The good news, though, is that, health-wise, I have now gone since, I guess, since I was hospitalized in July without any further real exacerbations. This is the longest stretch I have gone without a serious setback. And I am, I think without question, probably back or maybe even better than I was before this last setback. I've been going to pulmonary rehab 3 days a week. I go every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Once in a while, I'll miss one for one reason or another, but I've been going pretty steady, and I think these are going to continue into January, early January. By mid-January, they'll finally end. But I've been doing very well. I've been able to walk. I walk 25 laps, which are 100 feet each lap. So, that's like 2.5 football fields or something. The thing I've noticed too is that, I have good days and I have bad days still, and I don't have those bad exacerbations, that are going to put me in the hospital. But what I do have is I get winded real easy, and days when I can go outdoors and walk around and get out of the car and go to the store and do a little bit of grocery shopping and maybe carry my bags out to the car, and days I can't do those kind of things. And what I have noticed is that a lot of it is weather related, and I'm at the point now where, like, the first day of really cold weather, I'm okay. I can even go out. I can go out in that weather, dressed warmly. I can leave my car, go into a store, come back out, get in my car, go. I'm okay. But by the second day of really cold weather, the second day it starts affecting me, and by the third day I really can't do it anymore. And even when I'm in the house in the nice warm area, it affects me somewhat. But outdoors, unbelievable. And this seems to be pretty consistent, that the first day I handle it, the second day it starts really affecting me, and by the third day, you better stay indoors, Dave. So all I can say is I have to try my best to I don't know, hope that we don't have a lot of freezing cold weather here. We've had, every time it gets below 40 degrees, like I say, I'm okay the first day. But if it gets below freezing, like below 30 degrees, then it really becomes a problem after 2 or 3 days. It really becomes a problem. And we've been lucky. We've had some really frigid cold days, but we haven't had more than 2 or 3 of them in a row before, it slightly warms up enough. Like right now, this is a really cold day today. And yesterday it was kind of drizzly and cool, but it was about almost 40 degrees, and that wasn't so bad. But today we're in the 20s, and I think it's going to stay there for a while. So I have a feeling in another day or two I'm going to not be as well as I am right now, not be able to do as much. Like I say, I'll go to rehab and I'll really struggle and I won't be able to walk through 25 laps. I'll do about 3 and I'll be winded. That just seems to be how it goes. I guess I really should be living in a warmer climate, but I can't afford to do that either. So what are you going to do? At any rate, I will be posting something again before Christmas, and I know that's just a few days away. But I want to get something up on this whole, Trump business here. There's a number of things going on here with the, it looks like Mueller is getting ready to make the final indictments, I guess, that he's going to have. I think he's going to go after Roger Stone. I think he's going to go after his I don't know, his associate, Corsi gentleman, and I would not be a bit surprised if Mueller ends up doing something in the way of going after maybe Jared. Although he may leave some of that to the Southern District of New York if they're just going to go after the financial stuff. But I think he's got ample evidence. My theory is that he's got ample evidence of of collusion and obstruction on the part of Jared Kushner, and no reason at all he can't indict him if he chooses to. So I'll be looking forward to see that. Of course, Trump right now with this kind of abrupt Syria decision that he's made, which I do have some mixed feelings about. And of course, this really kind of disturbing development where Mattis is stepping down from his post. Really, I think suggests that it is time at long last for, some key Republicans to step up. One of the things I don't understand is why McConnell and Paul Ryan don't use the leverage that they have over Trump, and why they continue to appear so weak as if Trump has all the leverage. And I know, in a way, I know that they fear that Trump has all this voter support, and that he will go after them, at the slightest hint of, pressure. And yet, McConnell and Ryan wield enormous power over Trump, because all they got to do is say the word, and they can go into Trump's finances. They can go into, they can get serious about this Russian thing. There's any number of things that they could do that would really, really worry Trump. So I don't think it's an even match. I think that they have much more leverage over Trump than Trump has over them. And, at any rate, I think this is really the first time that they may feel real pressure to exert some of that. But they haven't shown any sign of it yet, which is, I don't know. I never cared for the Republican Party. I always was adamantly against everything they stood for, but I never saw this coming. I got to admit, I never saw this coming. So, at any rate, hey, listen, I thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry again that I haven't posted here lately. I will try to make it up with you with another, let's hope it's a shorter video before Christmas here in a few days. And I thank you again. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you again real soon.